So looking at the tape here of the two people, look, 28, the older man, Ligier, 4-0, a perfect record, but Wootten, as Frank said, 8-0, huge difference in that respect. Somebody's O's got to go tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, Victoria Warehouse Arena, Manchester, get ready for action. This is BAMMA 17, and we are scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds in the Bantamweight division. This bout sponsored by SportsDirect.com. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a grappling specialist. He stands 5 feet 6 inches tall, weighed in at 135.6 pounds, has a flawless record of 4 wins, 0 losses, and 0 draws, with 2 wins by way of submission. From Fight Move Academy all the way in Switzerland, from Paris, France, Peter Ligier. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, an MMA specialist. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall. He weighed in at 136.2 pounds with an also unblemished record of 8 wins, 0 losses, and 0 draws. 4 wins by way of TKO, representing Liverpool MMA Academy from Liverpool, England, Mike Wootten. When the action begins, your referee in charge, Mark Woodard.
So Frank, to pick up on your previous point, we've got a Frenchman fighting out of Switzerland.
Gotta move. I mean, it's unfortunate. These, I don't understand. It's like the state of New York in America. Why is it not legal to have MMA? It's the only state holding out for their stupidity. I don't understand it. And it's the same thing with France. Like, why wouldn't you want to have a sport that's as safe as this, as easy as this to regulate? Why are you still making it illegal in your country? And all these Frenchmen get to make money and take their fares elsewhere, because that's where they have to go to fight. They have to leave the country. It's a great moneymaker for anybody involved if you would allow it to be legal at the state level and at the country level. Well,
and on this particular fight, you do feel for Ligier, because he's against a man, when you look at his record, 4 KOs, 3 subs, 1 decision. That's a rounded fighter, Frank. He's got a height advantage, you can see, in terms of the musculature of the two bodies at the weight. I think this is a really tough call from the Frenchman fighting out of Switzerland, and you do feel for him.
Ligier's got a lot. He's a huge hill to climb. Double the record. 4-0 versus 8-0. Wooten's got double the amount of fights to his record already. Understands a little bit more about how to be inside the cage, but it's still also a fight at the end of the day. And there's a lot of position changes that can happen. A lot of things can go on. But what's going to happen?
Big bolo punch there by Ligier. Just missed the spot, but he's already willing to mix it with Wootten and stand his ground. Looks for the double, but he's not going to get it.
He's going for a low leg kick into a shot. He's done a low leg kick off of the same side. He's throwing a right and throwing a right leg kick, low side at the same time. That's going to be one of his signature moves. You're going to see a lot of him when he gets in exchanges. He'll go to the right side of his body, throwing low leg kicks, trying to dive in for a takedown, or trying to outbalance his opponent to make him fall over.
Picking up on something you said earlier, though, we can already see the patience of Wootten when he was in that position. He's looking, he's thinking, and incredibly calm, composed opening from him.
You see the difference in stature and stance. One fighter is fighting out of desperation. One fighter is fighting out of a place of comfort. And so you look at their body language, and you at home just pick which one you see is doing what. You can tell the difference, and now you're going to start to see how the pace changes and how the confidence rises up on Wootten as he starts to get inside a little bit more. So,
that was a short right hand on the end of that combination that took Ligier down. And he just took another and a big knee. He's grabbed that leg, but fair play to him. He took some strong shots there. But there's the danger signs for Ligier, and another knee sinks in. And then the round point kick.
Wow, again, that's the second knockdown from a strike. This Ligier's got an amazing amount of recovery power. He's been dropped twice. Flash knockouts, so should have ended the fight, but he immediately jumps back up again.
And a big left hook. It doesn't quite find the target, but Frank, in that combination again, he shipped another knee as well. Oh, but these are pinpoint accuracy. Ligier, he either needs to be right in or right out. He cannot afford to be in this range, Frank.
He's sticking in a range where all he's going to do is eat punches and not be able to throw anything back.
And he blows, and I don't blame him for blowing hard. He's taken some heavy shots. And do you know what, Frank? We're already inside the last 2 minutes. This round has flown.
It's been a lot of action from the very beginning. Both guys are aggressive, keeping their pace. Both guys are sticking with their game plans. Ligier's the only one that's been dropped twice, though. He's the only one that's felt the discomfort of being on the canvas and trying to recover and recuperate from being knocked out.
But he's still trying to take it to Mike Wootten. But as we said before, it's that experience and that confidence. Everything is like this. It's measured, it's controlled, and he's picking him apart now. But as he wobbled there,
yeah, it looked weird. Like Wootten all of a sudden took a half step back and lost footing.
Wow, it looked almost for a moment that Mike Wootten was Bambi-legged as he stalked there. As Ligier threw, as you said, it's desperation, but he's still throwing. He's still trying to stay in the game there. And I thought just for a brief moment that Wootten was rocked, but obviously not.
What a tough character Ligier is. I mean, he's been dropped twice and stayed inside, stayed and fought, and still bringing the fight to Wootten, still bringing it in. And now we have to see which way is going to happen. Is he going to be able to clear his hip and get the half, or is Ligier going to be able to push him off a little bit and get some space?
Yes, Wootten right above our commentary position here. And as you said, he's very methodical and he's very relentless, Frank, as well, in the way he operates. He's not given Ligier, across the full 5 minutes, any breathing time, any breathing space.
Anytime that he's been attacking, he's been on the inside, pushing the pace. Well, not the inside, but using complete pressure to keep the pace going. And all that Ligier's been able to do is throw heavy haymakers, hoping to back off Wootten. It's not working at all anymore.
Well, the one thing in his favour there was normally against the taller man, you know the head's going to be there, and that even with your head down and under pressure, if you throw it, you might land. But he's been taken apart across this first round, and it's only the natural toughness of this man that's got him still in there.
Now we have a judge's problem. So take a look at this, because this could go into the third round. This fight could very easily go into the third round. He gets knocked down twice, but Mark Wootten doesn't step in. He doesn't even make an action like, oh man, I might want to stop this fight. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. As you take a look at these replays, you can see he steps in hard and gets caught over the top, and that's when the one that puts him down. Now, Mark doesn't step in like, oh, it was a knockdown, so the judges could have seen it as a slip. He gets kicked in the head and gets pushed down, but both guys fall. One because he overkicked, one because he got knocked down, but how the judges see it, they see it as a slip. I saw them both as knockdowns, so for me it's a 10-8 round. The judges can see this as a 10-9 round. Now we're going to go in, and this is what's going to happen. Now we go in, say, now we saw earlier, it flips. And all of a sudden now it's 10-9, and we're going to the third round, it's tied up. If they see 10-9, 10-9 as opposed to 10-8, 10-9. You know, it can be very interesting how judges score these rounds, especially this late and this far along into the fight card of the night, because the judges now have their patterns and their rhythms. They're going to call the fights the way they're going to call the fights. It's not going to change up anymore.
Yes, interesting call there, Frank, as well. As you said, it's open. What Frank's saying basically is it can be open to interpretation. We feel totally dominant from Wootten, and with techniques like this again. And even after those two knockdowns, there was the knee to the head and the straight right that had his man rocking. But for me, Frank, it's also worth talking about Ligier still there, still trying like this, and look to have recovered. What a durable character.
And the thing is that his game plan is still working. It's just not working to full effectiveness. He's not getting a takedown when he gets in there for the kick. He's just kind of on the outside and catching too many blows in the wrong position. But his game plan is still working, so he's still sticking with the map that he had when he walked in there. He's not changing anything up yet as far as that goes, but he's got to change his distance, either, like you said earlier, all the way in or all the way out. If he does that, he can change the round very easily. If he gets all the way inside and just stays inside, he has a shot of winning this round for sure.
Well, all the way inside, we've seen he's quick to throw the hooks and uppercuts. So when you're on the inside, you've always got an opportunity, and that's what he needs to do: close the gap quickly. Where he's in danger is when he's at this range here. The legs and hands of Wootten, just at this range.
Wootten's doing a great job of seeing. He's starting to read his towels. See, this is what I'm talking about, the mental capability of Wootten. He knows when he's about to throw that overhand left, that big haymaker, and he's starting to pepper him just as he goes to throw it, because he knows he has to get his hand back to protect his head. So as he sees it coming, he sees the towel that's about to shoot, he throws his hand out there and stops the punch from coming at all.
And nice footwork again from Wootten, and straight back to a familiar pattern, stalking his man, walking him down. And that's that right he's setting up, and he goes straight through the channel. The first was more of a hook. The second one, a straight cross through the channel. Orthodox boxing, but working for him at this range. And that knee, again, it just spurs Ligier forward.
Oh, jeez. And as he's running, he ran into the knee as much as he got hit by the knee. Those are the worst kind of strikes to have. You run right into them. There's nothing you can do about it except absorb the blow.
And he did absorb it, came forward and threw hooks and uppercuts on the inside when he closed the gap. Can't stress enough how tough this man is.
What a tough character, this guy. I mean, Ligier is so strong, has great recovery, which means he's in great cardio shape. Some technical flaws that, of course, with experience will be fixed very easily.
Well, that nose is giving him problems now, and for obvious reason. It's eaten a couple of knees, big knees. And a good front push kick now from Wootten, relaxed, shoulders loose.
Now, here's the issue. Wootten is picking him apart. He's very technically sound.
Oh, that one. You said there's no issue there now. Frank, that was again a clean, just a straight right cross through the channel. And the man finally wilted, finally went down under the barrage. Now the elbows as well.
Good job of covering up, tying up Wooten's arms. He's got to move his head, though. You can't just move your legs and try to push away. You got to change position.
There's enough time here as well, Frank.
Fight's
it's a
over.
dangerous
Done.
period of the round here. Mark Wood having a close look at Ligier. Oh, and there's another huge knee, and then the elbow on the left knee.
Whoa. I called that wrong. I thought for sure he was turning up and he was going to lay there in the fetal position until the ref stepped in to finish it. But Ligier once again surprised me by jumping back up to his feet and taking 6-7 more punches and still in this fight.
You talk sometimes, Frank, about fighters coming across the pond just for the money. It happens. But I'll tell you what, Ligier has come to keep that unbeaten streak, and fair play to him. What a warrior this man is proving to be, and still trying to throw leather. His face covered in blood from the accuracy and the hurtful nature of Wootten strikes, and he's still here, still looking for a way back into it.
Ligier has one-punch knockout power with those haymakers. If he catches Wootten off guard one time, he can put him down on the canvas and change the entire tide of the fight. Wootten, great job of not letting Susie shoots, getting on top. That's the best position, and when you get shot on is make him pay for that shot. Get on top of him now, start throwing down some elbows, start torturing him a little bit more, being underneath because he wanted to shoot on you.
Just as you said that, Frank, the downward elbow, but immediately Ligier from the bottom position. He's like a trapped dog that just won't give up and keeps barking back at you. And it's incredible because in many ways this is a one-sided fight. It's as simple as that. But Ligier is still making it exciting.
He's such a talented guy. He's such heart. He's pushing forward, and he's obviously technically outmatched on his feet. His wrestling has been technically outmatched by defense versus offense, but he still has such a huge heart because he's still trying to stay in this fight. And really, I'm looking at the way he's throwing these punches. He really could still get a knockout victory if Wooten's not careful.
And you heard the crowd response to that low kick, then the front push kick, and Ligier breathes deeply, looks at his man again. 2 big rounds for Wootten. That was the exclamation mark on it, Frank. But the point is, Ligier, you can't even look there and go, do you know what, at least he's tiring, at least he's fading. Wooten's not.
No, Wootten is still in full shape. He acted like at the end of that second round like it was still the first round. He's 100% in the perfect shape for this. You see that shin kick right across the face, and he just keeps coming. Ligier just keeps walking through these things. You have to understand, when you're running forward, trying to get a takedown and get caught with a shin and continue to come forward, that tells you how tough you are. Now to come up off the bottom after a straight right and get up and take 5 or 6 more punches, that's how tough this Ligier is. He is taking a ton of shots and is still not dropping down.
Well, that was a right knee, left knee, then a front traditional Thai teep kick to the face, and he's still there. And he's looking over. But sadly, you look at his opponent in the opposite corner, and Mike Wootten still looks fresh. He could do another round, no problem, you know this. Light on his feet, moving again. And Ligier actually smiles.
Part of it, too, is confidence. That helps out. You know, you're starting to land. You haven't been touched yet. You see the blood in your opponent's face. Part of it, too, is the super cardio system that Wootten has, but also, too, it's his experience. He simply understands how to push forward, and he simply understands how to stay calm in tight, tough positions, and that saves his energy for later. He's so smart. I can't express enough how smart Mike Wootten is inside that cage. He understands the game a lot better than people that have 30, 40 fights.
Well, Ligier doing his best again to try and get his man to canvas, but it doesn't happen. And there's still 4 minutes left for lots more punishment here. So Wootten light on his feet again, closing the gap. Just missed with that right. The second one lands, Frank. And that front push kick through the channel as well.
Ligier is going to start fighting like a caged animal. So he'll start attacking from weird positions, and it makes him even more dangerous.
There you go, those short hooking punches when he gets on the inside.
It's tough. It's always tough to battle a guy that hasn't lost yet because he doesn't know, he hasn't tasted defeat. And honestly, people that haven't lost are kind of dumb. They don't realize that they're in trouble. They don't realize that this is a bad position. They don't realize that they're not supposed to win in this spot, that they're supposed to take the tap out. They don't understand that. They're kind of stupid. So as a result, they keep fighting. And besides, they shouldn't keep fighting. Wow, what a great spinning back fist. Just a little bit too short.
Well, when you're unbeaten, Frank, picking up on your point, you always feel there's that moment in the fight when you will turn it around because you've done that. That's what's happened each and every time. The dumbness you talk about comes from that thinking, well, do you know what? In a second, this will happen. Or in a second, I will do this.
And there's always that, wait, one more second, it'll stop, or one more second, I'll be able to start, or one more, it's always that going through your head. And really, this is one of the reasons why Ligier won't go away. Because he doesn't understand that he's in trouble. He mentally can't grasp the fact that he is in trouble. He doesn't understand that. He understands he's losing the fight, but doesn't understand that the fight is lost. He doesn't get that yet, so he's still in
You're right, there's a huge difference there. Because somewhere, and he's bleeding from the forehead as well now. Because somewhere now, as you said, there's that one moment that he knows in his mind will turn this fight around. It's just got to, it hasn't happened yet, that's all. Oh, at will now, the high point kick. He landed with a straight right hand earlier. And again, you talked about that patience and temperament. Wootten hasn't rushed for the finish. I think he's realised that this is one tough man. He stayed calm, he stayed focused, and really picked his shots.
You know, with experience, you learn that. You learn about guys you're not going to be able to put away, that you hit them with your best stuff and they just won't go down. So you have to back off a little bit and play the game to win the fight, make sure you don't get knocked out yourself. And Wooten's doing that. He realizes, I thought Ligier was going to get his back and throw hooks in. I'm sorry, I thought he was going to have to throw hooks in. I was like, oh,
and
see,
the crowd
right there.
did respond to him as well. I think Ligier has won the hearts of the neutrals here, Frank.
It's amazing how good. Both these gentlemen have a huge, long career ahead of them in MMA, and they're only going to get better still so early in their careers. But what a heart. Anybody that fights Ligier coming on, anybody who fights him in the future should understand this is not a guy that's going to go away. And he'll probably be even worse after this fight when he gets the one loss. It'll even be more difficult to put away because now he doesn't want to taste that defeat ever again.
Yeah, so Wootten sticking to his game plan, coming behind a solid jab there.
You know, as a referee, it's difficult to ref these fights too, because you're hoping at some point he'll stop taking damage and find a spot to quit, and he just won't quit. He's also a guy that if you catch him in an armbar, he's not tapping. So you're gonna have to wait the ref, you have to wait till it breaks before you can stop the fight, because this is the professional leagues. You get to go longer than you would with amateurs, and it's just unfortunate that some of these guys they're not going to give up at any point, and Ligier's one of those guys that will not give up ever.
Yes, he's full credit to him. He's not going to win this fight unless he gets a big finish in the last 30 seconds. Where, as we said, when you talk about this, suddenly Wootten goes crazy again. And I think he's looking for that reason to say to Mark Wood, oh, come on, now is finally the time, Frank, because he really has gone for this.
Look how smart Wootten has been. He like you said earlier, he hasn't gone for the big finish because it's going to be difficult to get against this kind of opponent. He's staying with his style. He's not getting so cocky and losing his form and technique. He's staying very confident in what he wants to do. He's staying safe. He's staying smart, and he gets a relatively easy victory against a very, very tough opponent because it looks easy because we're out here watching it happen.
And he's smiling at Wootten. Wootten stepped up, shook his head as to say, what do I do? And Ligier smiled as if to acknowledge it. Look, he's smiling. There was a moment there when Wootten hit him with a downward elbow, and he gave Grant himself as if to say, what's going on here?
What a huge treat to have both these guys battle each other, and obviously, you know, we believe, and you should at home too as well, that Wootten wins this fight relatively easily. But what a great job to see both these guys fight, how they battled, how they fought, how they stayed within their game plans, how they kept pushing it. That spinning back fist was just a little bit too short. He should have backed out a little bit further and made it down at the end of the fist. Instead of catching with a forearm, he probably could have knocked him out. Wootten didn't even think that kick was going to land. So he just kind of threw it up there as a bait to kind of see what happened, and it landed. If he put some force behind it, he could have got the knockout. Of
and
course,
then
this
here,
is the very
Frank,
end.
this is where Ligier starts to smile as if saying, look, he keeps throwing the little back fist. He tries a few upward elbows. And there's a moment here when Wootten lands and he just gets back up as if to say, I don't know what's going on.
That's a man that loves his job. He loves, we're in the face punching business. This is what we're in. And he loves being out there, getting it and giving it.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 exciting rounds, we go to our judges' scorecard. Your winner by unanimous decision in the red corner, Mike Wootten!